We rock with us each and every Thursday. My main man, C.L. Brown. Good morning, C.L. How you doing,
Good
brother?
morning.
Good morning, good people. What's the word?
What's going on?
That's what we want you to tell us.
Yeah,
look,
What's
don't-
the word?
look, don't go live.
Yeah, that's the word. Don't, be careful when you drop your phone.
Wow. Anyway, that's a subject for another time.
My bad.
You started it. I've been waiting
Off
on
the
it.
radio.
That's exactly right. But see, we did talk about you yesterday because K-Mac was going through the top 25, and all of a sudden, Louisville pops up,
Boom.
and and
Where'd that come from?
And K-Mac's like, well, what's the real deal with Louisville? I said, well, let's wait 24
Till tomorrow.
hours, we'll find out.
Exactly.
So talk about early on and how Louisville's been playing and just some of your impressions going thus far.
Well, I think Jeff Brom, he played quarterback at the University of Louisville under Howard Snellenberger. He's an offensive guy. He came up, as an assistant coach under Bobby Petrino, who, regardless of his antics, or what you think of him as a person, leaving the Atlanta Falcons by writing a note and leaving it in the players' locker room without stressing them like I'm out to Arkansas.
Hey, look, you remember that?
Oh, my
He wrote a note and then he made copies.
And bounced. But he's a great offensive mind, and Brom came up and took a little bit from him too. And so Jeff Brom it's his second year at Louisville, but he has the quarterback that can make the throws and open up the offense like he wants to run an offense. Last year with Jack Plummer, they were limited in what they could do. Plummer was not a gunslinger, if you will, at quarterback. He was more conservative. His arm strength wasn't as strong as their current quarterback, Tyler Shuck. And, they became a running team. It was actually the first time a Jeff Brom team ran more than they threw the ball since when he was at Western Kentucky, like back in 2016. So, because they never did that at Purdue. They always were a passing offense, threw way more times than they ran. So this year they will return back to having a wide open offense, throwing the ball downfield, taking their shots. And that's part of what kind of makes them a dangerous team and a team to look out for. And also, they returned a lot on the defensive side, too. Mm-hmm. And I think Quincy Riley is one of the better, if not the best, cover corner in the ACC. Oh, okay. And I thought that last year, but he was only kind of honorable mention. He didn't have a lot of picks because people didn't throw his way. And I think voters sometimes just tend to look at, all right, how many picks you have, how many pass defense, you know what I mean, and not realizing that he took guys out of the game plan. So they're solid defensively. They're still growing because they lost a lot last year. Jamari Thrash and Jawar Jordan, to me, were the top 1-2 number one running back, number one receiver combinations. They were game breakers. And they played a lot of the season kind of hurt last year, but they've got to replace those guys. And so it's been these two games have kind of been a filling out process. But that's a long answer. But they're solid. They're a team to keep an eye on, especially with chaos in the ACC right now.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a minute.
Coming in at 19, the Louisville Cardinals.
They're up 3. They're up 3 spots. Yeah.
And it sounded real good what you just said, but I still really don't understand how you got there. I mean, it sounded real good, but I really just don't understand how you got there.
But you know what's would you looking at Florida State, of course, and Clemson a little bit, but I think they're back on track.
We got Miami, Georgia Tech, Syracuse. Come on now.
But think about, I think Miami, okay. But Louisville could be the team that kind of creeps up in the conversation because we hadn't talked about it.
We talked about who was going to be the sleeper.
Yeah.
Maybe they're the sleeper.
Okay.
But as they move up 3, I wanted to ask, we're talking to C.L. Brown on who went down 13 and just your thoughts on Notre Dame and, not winning the games they're supposed to win, or is it just too soon to be worried?
Yeah, no, I'm worried about Marcus Freeman because I like him as a coach, but they're not going to tolerate losing to Marshall 2 years ago at home, kind of the same situation, and now losing to Northern Illinois, putting them in the map.
Right, that part.
Nobody. I mean, I don't think. I'm not even sure they were receiving votes last week before they beat Notre Dame and just pop up in the top 25. But
and you paid them to do it.
I think part of the problem is Riley Leonard hasn't really made the transition to owning the offense. I do know normally Notre Dame always has like a great offensive line, and they lost some guys, so their offensive line hasn't come together that well yet. And I do think a lot of places that got transfer quarterbacks, it's harder than just plug and play. You know what I mean? Like even when you feel like you got the right guy, it's still there's a process of kind of meshing the play calling to your new quarterback's talents, and I'm not sure that that's happened yet at Notre Dame. Their defense is solid. Their secondary, I think, is one of the better ones in the country, but you know, you got to put up points.
Yeah, we're big Riley fan.
Yeah, we love Riley.
We're talking with C.L. Brown. We're talking a little ACC football right now. We're talking about the Louisville Cardinals. We're talking about Notre Dame. So when you take a step, you know, just take it up a level, you look at the entire ACC, and, you know, this is week 3 prediction or week 4 prediction, however you want to look at it. And you want to come out, you want to say, okay, what have we really learned, and which one of these storylines you feel like is going to have staying power between Florida State, Miami, Boston College, Clemson, you name it?
That's a good question, K-Mac.
Well, damn, you think I do this every day.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I do think that I'm interested to see just how Clemson, how this all plays out for Clemson. Because
I think they rebound, honestly. Yeah.
Well, but see, here's the thing. So they could rebound in the ACC and be good for an ACC team. Under Dabo, it hadn't had to have that qualifier because Clemson's best, when they're at their best, they're competing for national titles.
Correct. Yep.
So they're not that team anymore, you know? So if I feel like if Clemson ends up winning the league, then that's an indictment on the league. Because that means
wow.
Wait a minute, CL. Oh, wait a minute. I got to throw a flag on the play. Because, first of all.
I'm saying that in the sense of the ACC won't get past like the first week of the college football playoff.
Okay.
It's not going to be a real contender is what I'm saying.
So we don't have that. So right now, and you probably there's some credence to what you say. We don't have that team in the ACC right now that's going to be a real contender in the college football.
Well, we don't know that yet. I think
don't know that yet.
South Florida they got a great quarterback, but and a couple of good wide receivers. I don't know that much about them yet. But they looking pretty.
They got a hell of a quarterback though.
Yeah, they got a good quarterback.
Yeah, Miami Cam Ward is ranking like just looking at it statistically. He's up there. Like I think he was number 2 in. I look at so many different metrics. I can't remember the exact one for his quarterback rating, but he's good.
That's enough right there.
That's way good.
Hey, look. We don't need metrics for that. We know that.
well, see, I mean, I agree with you, but I was somewhat impressed because App State is always that giant killer, and maybe App State's not the App State of the past, but how Clemson manhandled them. You know, over the weekend, I was somewhat impressed with that.
I mean, maybe I'm a hater. I wasn't. That's what they're supposed to do. Like, no, if you're thinking of the Clemson under Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence, then you would think that's what Clemson does. You would think this is what they do. So I'm not really giving them a ton of credit for that because of the way they looked against Georgia. So they got to stack that and, you know, double it again and keep the momentum rolling for me to get back on Clemson.
Wait a minute.
It's hard to impress CL, man.
Hey, see, where's the nice CL from years ago? This is the old crusty CL.
Did that Kentucky bourbon up there. Kentucky
he had another level.
Hey, CL.
Kentucky bourbon.
That's right. We got to bounce, my brother. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you
so much. Have a good weekend, man.
All right. Appreciate y'all.
All right. Take care.
I mean, it used to be